All right, welcome back. I'm Kevin,
I'm Don.
and we're here doing another set of reviews. I like to read good books, but sometimes they're hard to find. And my dad here reads a lot of books, and so I found it's easier to just sift through all the books he reads and finds his tens and nines and choose one of those every once in a while. So the goal of this channel is to give you an opportunity to find a good book to read. Hopefully, you'll get something out of what we have to share, and you'll find a book that you want to read.
We have some good ones this month.
How many do we have this month?
If we're doing just nines and tens, I think there's 5.
Okay.
Okay, the next book is One More Last Time, and it's the first book in the LitRPG fantasy series, The Good Guys. Now, this is happening in the same world of Voldrani as the bad guys did, just in a different place with different people. And there are 11 books in the series. And the series come together at book 11 in this one and 15 in the other one.
Wow, so it takes a long time, and it's only just now coming together.
The first time they hear of each other is in book 10 of the bad guys.
Okay.
Of the good guys. I'm having a hard time. Okay, Nils is a bad guy. We first meet him in his apartment. He is severely wounded with a gangrenous stomach wound. He has a gun in his hand ready to take his own life. There are people outside getting ready to break into his apartment to kill him. He has several agencies that are investigating him. And he gets a phone call from a former boss in this condition, a friend, maybe his only friend, who's an eccentric millionaire, and offering him a way out, telling him to go check his email. I'm going to die, might as well. So he goes and checks his email, and there's a link there, which he clicked on, and it takes him to the web page of a game called Incarnate. That talked about changing lives and living in a new world and total freedom. And it's more than a game, it's a life. His rich friend had invested in this game and was offering him a chance to get into it as a second chance at life, and convinces him to give the game a try. So he clicks on it and fills out the form on it. Doesn't have time to really fill it out, so he just checks all of one box all the way down. Names himself Montana. And he's just about the time they break through with several assassins coming to get him. There's a lot of gunfire and hitting and fighting, and all of a sudden he finds himself in a room where he is negotiating with someone he doesn't know about what his class is going to be, what his name is going to be, and what items he's going to have when he comes into the world.
Okay.
And because of some circumstances, which I'll let you discover in the book, he comes out of it with fantastic gear. He has a shield and a sword that are divine in quality. The huge amounts of damage and huge amounts of protection. And he thinks, I've got it. And he immediately falls into a crevasse and gets eaten by a monster and loses all his equipment. So the problem is they put him on top of the highest mountain in the land. Snow is deep. It's cold as all get out, and he has to get down off of this mountain. Anyway, his first death, he ends up back on top of the mountain. So he has to make it down without dying and he has to make it down quick enough so he doesn't freeze to death.
I assume without any of his equipment anymore.
Well, he doesn't have the equipment. He lost that in the crevasse.
Okay.
But he runs across some goblins when he gets down closer to the bottom of the mountain, or at least closer to a normal pass where you can go from one side of the mountain to the other. And he ends up fighting the goblins. He doesn't have any weapons anymore, and so he has to take weapons away from the goblins and fight with their weapons. He then runs into a little community that the goblins were spying on, and they're being taken over by the nation on the other side of the mountain that's trying to invade into this empire of Gladden. He really wants to be a good guy in this life. That's his greatest desire. He wants to change what he was and be a good guy. And so he ends up helping the town. Montana is in a world of magic and monsters, and it's fun to read about his bumbling attempts to be a good guy in this new life, and about the people that he collects on the way and kind of drags in his wake. It took me a while to identify with Montana and his penchant to solve problems by beating them to death. But I got there, and I found it very entertaining, and I was chuckling a lot in this book. It's a fun book to read, but there are some problems with it. I gave it a 9. It's a very good book, and I definitely recommend it, but it's profane. He has a mouth on him, and he uses it. There's no sexual problems other than a little bit of sexual tension, but it's violent, bloody. Goes into fights and just wails around and lops people in half, and there's blood and guts everywhere. And so with those two caveats,
So it's
profane
more than
and
high
bloody,
violence. It's very bloody.
it's bloody.
Okay. I was looking through our database of books that he's read and realized that he has about 180 10s that he's read. So rather than just give you the 8s, we figured we'd cherry pick off the top for a while.
Okay.
All right, that wraps up this set of reviews. We've decided to start filming every time he has 4. So we'll put them out as we get them. If we have more, we'll release them more than once a week. If not, I guess it'll
Read
be
some
more
good
often.
books lately. Enjoy reading them.
Okay.
Have a good time.